As you can see, I have a well-used electric smoker. It has a wood chip tray down here, water pan here. I'm just going to add some warm water to the pan here. So the importance of the water is to provide steam to keep the meat surface moist so that it will continue to absorb smoke for as long as possible. Once it barks over, that stops. So the other thing I'm going to do, because this is a electric smoker, is I'm going to put some wood chips in here. As you can see, well used. Got a hole in the bottom there. Now that my chip pan is getting this rusted out, I think it's time to do something about it, or it's not going to hold any chips. And what the experts say is use fruit chips with pork and hardwood chips with beef. So I'm going to get the apple chips out here. Right down there. Some right above the burner. Got my water, chips. Only thing missing is the meat. Okay, so now what I'm going to see if I can get away with probing this meat out here. So I'm going to use two probes so I can monitor the big end and the small end. Alright, so here they are. One other thing I was going to mention is I pulled these out of the fridge at about the 11th hour. Yeah, just let them start warming up. It just kind of helps them kind of kickstart the cooking process. So, close the door. I'm going to turn my smoker on here and kind of the traditional temp. And since I'm going to be monitoring them with probes, I'm just going to put a whole bunch of time on here. And it's on. So have chips in there, and I'll reload with this. Obviously everything I'm showing you about my smoker is unique to this kind of smoker. If you do it with charcoal or something else, it'd be totally different, but I just thought I'd show you what I do. Alright, so the reason I use these temperature probes is to expose the truth about how meat cooks. You know, I used to get a batch of ribs off of there one time. That'd be fantastic, and I would cook them a few weeks later and do the same thing or so, I think, and then they're tough. And I think, well, I guess it's something to do with the meat. They just weren't good ribs, and maybe once in a while there may be some truth to that. For the most part, though, it's about the failure to cook to the optimal target temperature, and that's what these probes help you do, because you can actually see what's really going on in particular places on the meat. But it exposes that meat doesn't cook evenly. The cooker doesn't provide even heat to the meat. Nothing is consistent about any of it. So the probes just allow you a fighting chance to get things the way you want it. So what I will do is I'll just monitor these temps, and at some point I'm going to have to decide when to pull them, simply because one end's going to be at or above target temp and another end's going to be below, and that's just the way it is every time. But getting it that close allows me to get great results every time. So in the first hour or so of the cook, remember the app said we got 2.5 hours left on the cook. Everything's rocking along, but like I said, it was wrong, because it's going to hit the stall, and that's where we are now. Remember the two probes were about 10 degrees apart. Well, now they're both right at this 178, 179 degrees, trying to break 180. That's because the collagen in the meat is resisting the cooking process. It doesn't want to break down, and that's what we're trying to do. That's why we want to go to 205, because that's when the collagen will break down, turn into gelatin. That's the difference between a tough piece of meat and a nice, juicy, tender piece of meat. And this is true for all cuts. So what a lot of people will do to deal with this is they'll pull the ribs out and they'll wrap them in foil and they'll stick them back in. And that foil will help amp up the temperature and push through the stall and get them done. But I'm not going to do that because I have an electric smoker. I don't have a fire to maintain or anything, so I can just wait this out. So now we have broken through the stall, and you can see the big reaction from the app and its calculations based on what the probes are now telling it. That now the temperature is just it's going vertical now, and it's recalculated. So suddenly we've scrubbed 9 hours of cooking off in less than 2 hours. So it just goes to show how much of a phenomenon that is, that stall actually is, because it confuses the heck out of the app in terms of figuring out when this is going to get done. But of course the main benefit is that we can see how those are finishing up. We've got the two probes are within 4 degrees of each other, which is great. So I'll probably be letting these go to where both of them cross the 205 mark, because I'm making these ribs for somebody that kind of likes them, but they fall off the bone. So I'll probably go a little bit past. So we're doing good here. So by going through the 205 mark, look at that. I mean, if that's what you want, that's how you get it. And that's the point of all of this, is having the that's the point of this approach to cooking and monitoring the temperature so closely, is you can predict exactly what your results are going to be, and there's no guesswork and there's no stress or anxiety about it. You just wait it out and pull them at the right time, and you'll get the results you're looking for. All right, we're going to flip them over and look at the bark on the other side. Okay, so here's the other side. I really don't have the best bark because I really should have cooked them the other way. Had the ribs pointing down to get the best bark, but I didn't. Just didn't think about it. But they'll still be great. So that's the thing, is you don't have to do it perfect to still enjoy great results. So hope this was helpful, and enjoy cooking.